everybody. This is Carly from the Arns Alaska Life, and today I'm actually doing a craft. So I am making some letters, some big Scrabble tiles to hang on my wall that say family. I actually purchased these for like 10 cents at Joann's, but they were all like letters that didn't smell anything. They were on clearance. So I'm just going to paint the backside, and I'm using a transfer method using a printout and pencils. So some supplies that you'll need are a computer. Well, if you don't have a computer, you could probably hand draw these, but I wanted them to be really precise. You also need a couple different pencils. I'm using some tape to hold my pieces of paper in place, and then some paint. So I'm using some craft paint from the store. I don't even know where this one's from, but we just buy it when we need it. And it's pretty simple. So I print out with an outline. I don't like to waste a ton of ink when I do this. So I'm just using the least ink possible. I print out with an outline. And then the next process is to actually scrub the back of your paper with your pencil lead. And then what that's going to do, and I could see my outline when I held it up against the white, I could see the outline of it, and so I could just do the pencil where I needed to. On smaller print, like this one right here, I'll show you. I've done the same thing, printed in an outline. And then this is actually going to go on 3 books stacked together that I've ripped the covers off. This is a separate project, but I'm probably going to get that done later this week. But I went ahead and I just scrubbed the whole area because I don't need to be very precise when they're really close together. But since I don't want to waste a ton of time scrubbing my graphite onto my paper, I want to just get it where I need it and then move on. And then what else do I need? I need a ruler so that I can make sure that they're spaced evenly. And then I'm using a really tiny paintbrush. I also had this one, which was working pretty good, but this one was for the numbers. And maybe some water. And that's the process. So I will show you how to do the transfer. I am kind of eyeballing the width on the tile, but I want it to be the same height because they're going to go evenly on the wall, and I want it to look even as I'm looking at it. And the side-to-side position isn't maybe as important as the how far down the letter is on the tile. And I'm going to tape that there, and I'm going to have a little piece right here, and I just don't want that to move while I'm placing it. Now, the other thing I decided on these letters, since I have a really nice straight edge that I want when I'm finished, I decided to go ahead and use my ruler for the tracing process. I actually did freehand the first one, and I just thought it was hard to stay on the line exactly. So all I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pencil right where the black printout is. In completion, I'm going to go over this whole letter. And then some of mine, depending on how much graphite I ended up putting on the backside, and also depending on like the darkness of the piece of wood, since this wood is almost the same color as pencil lead, some of them I had to like add a little hand-drawn section once I removed my piece of paper. So I'm just finishing up the top here, and I've already done all the edges of my Y. And I'm going to take that off, and I will show you. Oh, this one turned out really nice and solid. And the next process would be then filling in the letter. Here is a finished one that I've already made, and I went ahead and looked up the tiles on the internet so I knew exactly what the font looked like, so I could replicate that pretty closely, and then also what each tile's value was, because I thought that was kind of important for me as a Scrabble lover. And if it wasn't the right number value, it wouldn't quite look like a Scrabble tile, or it would just kind of set you off like, why is an F worth 10 points? Why is an A worth 7? I don't even think any letters are worth 7. Anyway, so there's that, and then I will just show you painting one letter. I'm actually really low on black paint, so I'm using some dark gray mixed with black just to kind of like get my project done. So I have my Dapper's been painting today too. Oh, that's really stuck. So I have my gray and my black already out, and I'm going to add a little bit of water because I want this to spread really easily. I'm probably not going to use all of that gray. And then I will liberally use water as needed to get my paint to flow. I don't want it to flow too much because my wood is pretty porous and pretty soft, and it's actually going to pull some of, like, bleed some of that paint into the grain if I'm not careful. I had a little bit of bleeding on the A. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it was on this section. I had just added a little bit too much water, and so it bled a little bit. So it's pretty simple. I'll move my water a little closer so I can use it as I need it. And I'm just going to come in here and with as much precision as possible, get my letter filled in, and that looks a little sloppy, but I got a pretty good steady hand, and I will get that cleaned up. And I would say it's pretty permanent, but if you make a mistake, I would recommend maybe just doing a repair job, you know what I mean? Like, get a little paint mixed up, try to match the color of the wood, and just kind of clean it up a little bit, because that's not going to show. When you're done, no one's going to look at that detail. What they're going to see is, I mean, on this project specifically, they're going to see like, oh, it's a really nice crisp font. Okay. So there's the beginning of my IY. I did get a little bleeding right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. And I will probably maybe make that a little bit whiter with some paint that definitely doesn't have too much water. And I'll just clean it up a little bit. I'm not going to mix paint for that section because I can just narrow it up just a bit. Now, some people might want to use tape. I would not recommend that. You'll get a lot of bleed underneath the tape. Another thing that would have worked really well for this, I don't have the ability to do that, would be vinyl lettering, where you actually just stick a piece of vinyl on there and and call it a day. I do not have that ability though, but I did want to. I got a little paint on my table. That'll be good for now. I do want to show you two projects that I have completed this way, and I will just take you over into my living room and show those. All right, so here is the first one. I painted these bookends. This is what I'm doing for that second project I showed you. I just printed it out, transferred the pencil, and then painted it in. And this one I really didn't have to be so precise on because of the font. You know, it was kind of meant to be a little bit typewriter font, and so maybe it didn't matter so much. And then the second one is actually right next to it, and it is one of my favorite Bible verses. And again, this one, like, it took a lot of transferring, but it was an easy font to paint in. It hid all my flaws, and almost fell. And it just turned out really great. And it looks, you know, really precise. It really didn't take me very long. Maybe, you know, that whole project maybe took me an hour or maybe a little bit longer. Because again, well, that was painted wood, and the paint flowed really well. All my mistakes were really easy to clean up and touch up, and it just went so fast. So anyway, I hope you like this little tutorial on how to use pencil to transfer onto wood and then how to paint it. I hope you guys do some experimenting and trying something for your own home or maybe for a gift. Tune in for more videos and go ahead and hit that like and little notification bell if you want to see more of these videos and just hear more about what we do here in Alaska. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Arns Alaska Life. Bye.